If you look there, underneath that tree, the closest tree branch, there's it's little in the picture here for me, but a very big white egret that's up in the grass hunting for something. And that egret's been living here at Spirit Rock for a year or so. So it's well known. It's been given a name. And yesterday it was about right next to where I'm staying here. So maybe it'll come into the picture later. Someone asked for the name. The egret is called Paul. Hello everyone, and welcome to Spirit Rock hillside. That is, I think, behind me in this direction is up in the hills. There is the Spirit Rock meditation, the actual meditation hall, from where I'm teaching a retreat today, this week. And one of the ways that Spirit Rock is designed is that you have to be outdoors to go between almost anything. And so there's a constant going outdoors and experiencing the land, the sky, the weather, the turkeys, the different animals. Yesterday there was a beautiful, day before yesterday there was a really beautiful, healthy looking coyote stalking the hillsides up here. And now I showed some of you there was this white egret that's been here. So welcome. And for the meditation today, and on continuing the exploration of Samadhi, the descriptions of the jhanas, each of them is different, but they all contain similar wording, and that is one enters and abides in these states of being. And so this idea of it's entering, it's not staying apart, it's not staying up in the head looking down, but it's dipping into, it's entering. And one way that I understand this, or helps to understand it, it's entering into an embodied state, but an embodied state that is not exactly our physical body, but rather the sensations in the body that are born from the meditation, from being settled, from being connected, being unified, calm, clear. Just as if you get angry, you can feel new body sensations in your body. And if you enter those difficult sensations, maybe you'll be more angry. So when we start getting kind of more and more involved with meditation, then there are these Samadhi sensations that we can enter in, abide in, which I take to be rest in, enter and rest in them. So this resting is very different than pushing or wanting more or trying to have something happen. It's closer to enter and be in them, a kind of sense of beingness, resting in them, abiding in them. And then one more step that is not exactly in the text, but is my interpretation of the classic instructions, and that is to open to some of these sensations, direct experiences that come with meditation that have to do with well-being, joy, happiness, delight, contentment, and open to it so that it seems to have more space in the body. So it's an embodied opening. So we enter into the maybe very subtle, at first, sensations that seem connected or associated with meditation, and rest in them, and open for them to become more expansive, to open up, to spread throughout our whole being. So to enter, abide, and open. So assuming a meditation posture, and I'd recommend that you close your eyes. And with your eyes closed, to feel and sense maybe some of the leftover or associated experience of feelings of delight or awe or openness in seeing the hillsides and the sky behind me. If that somehow had an influence on your body, your heart, your mind, let that be there, however subtle it is. And the art of entering into it. And if it's just simply assuming your meditation posture, if it's familiar, there's a contentment, there is a familiarity, there's a relief. There's a lot of some kind of good feelings that can be assuming our meditation posture. Feel those in the body and enter into them. Or lower yourself into them in the body, rather than associating yourself with the efforts and the choices and the strivings of the mind, the brain, up in the head, up in the control tower. Drop down into the body, into the middle. Maybe like it's a lake of whatever subtle, small, mild, good feelings there might be. And if it's accessible, in the middle of that, or deeper underneath it, or around it, become aware of your body breathing. Aware of the expansion and contraction of your torso as you breathe. And that the impulse to breathe in is inside the breathing itself, the breathing body. Enter into your breathing to feel that impulse, the movement, the expansion of breathing in. As you exhale, let that be a settling into your body, entering your body like you would enter a refreshing lake to the water. As you exhale, relaxing any tension or pressure in the thinking mind. Letting go of your thinking, and doing so by letting go into whatever good feelings there are in your body. Even if you feel off or feel uncomfortable anywhere in your body, for now, see if you can drop yourself into that which is pleasant, with a very modest idea of what that is. Breathing naturally. Maybe some point in the cycle of breathing, there's something pleasant. Enter and abide. And if in the course of this meditation you get pulled into your thoughts, notice how that might be pulling you away from an intimacy of your body and those sensations, wholesome sensations of just sitting here. Let go of your thoughts and allow yourself to enter, settle into the pleasant, enjoyable sensations. Abide in those as you breathe, breathing through it, with it, around it. And open the body, open the heart, open up so that the pleasant sensations, the good feelings, the joy can spread through your body. In these 3 steps, rest, enter, abide, and open, done very, very gently, kindly, softly, as if you have all the time in the world. But each step encouraging the thinking mind to be quieter, letting go of thoughts in favor of a more intimate connection to the goodness of this moment in your body. center, abide, and open. Maybe an opening of all your senses. Nothing left out. But you, abiding at the center of it all. Abiding in the center of all the well-being that's available. Letting it spread through your body. If during the time of this meditation your body feels more settled, more calm, if you feel a greater contentment or ease in any way, if there's a joy or enjoyment in your body of meditating, however small it might be, enter into it. Drop into the embodied experience of it, letting your body feel it, sense it more fully. Abide in it. Rest in whatever good feelings, wholesome feelings there are sitting here, meditating. And open to those feelings. Open beyond the edges of them, so they either expand, spread, or so that there's no boundaries, no edges to the good feelings. Enter, abide, open. And then opening your body, your heart, your mind, beyond your meditation, beyond where you are, out across the lands, across the hillsides, the forests, the trees, the oceans, the lakes, the skies, the clouds. And allow your goodwill, allow a kind of inner seeing that sees all things with kindness, with care. A care where we want to care for what cares for us. So much on this earth is constantly caring for us, providing oxygen, food, and may it be that the way, the purpose, the dedication of regular meditation practice is to contribute to a better world, starting with ourselves, that brings forth a better us, brings out the best in us, so we can share that with the world, spreading kindness, compassion, support, care for the whole world. May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe May all beings be peaceful, and may all beings be free. Thank you, and with this bow, we end this meditation. So, welcome to our next talk on Samadhi, on the last talk on the second jhana. And most people who experience the second jhana feel that it's much more satisfying than the first jhana. And there is maybe a little bit of evaluation in the mind with the first jhana, kind of a sense of relief of not being caught in the thinking mind, the desiring mind, the aversive mind anymore. And so there's a ability to kind of just be in the experience itself in a deeper way. It's not in reference to what we've left behind and how good it is to no longer be caught up in the hindrances. And so things get, the thinking mind, the active mind becomes quieter and quieter, more peaceful, more open. And there's virtually no thinking. One of the ways to kind of move into this or enter into it is to begin appreciating the difference between ordinary thinking, conversational thinking, commentarial thinking, thinking with words and or images, and begin appreciating that there are non-verbal ways of knowing. We can know without there needs to be thoughts that tell us so. And so when we get into these deeper states of samadhi, there is a kind of a knowing. There is a deeper place inside that maybe even guides us a little bit, because it knows, stay here, enter here, be present, and this is good. But there's no the ordinary verbally thinking or vision making kind of thinking that goes on for some people has gotten quiet. It's taken a wonderful, delightful vacation. Finally, it can rest. But still, there can be a deeper knowing that somehow keeps us connected here in the present moment. A kind of non-verbal knowing. It's that kind of knowing that recognizes the joy and the happiness that characterizes the second jhana. So the piti, the Pali word, and sukha, the Pali word, that I translated as joy and happiness. And other people who practice jhanas, sometimes they're not happy with me using the word joy and happiness, because they feel like generally that's too modest, that it should be something more like rapture or and bliss. But as we get into this deeper, especially in the second jhana, it becomes important to open to the joy and the happiness when it's there. The joy and happiness of being fully engaged, fully involved, with no distractions, with the practice itself. It's such a wholesome feeling. It feels like there's such a rightness being here and now, and it feels so complete. Like this is good. This is this feels more deeply satisfying than a lot of things that people can experience in life. And so there are these two things, joy and happiness. And as this second jhana matures, and matures means we become more familiar with it, the joy and the happiness spreads, it becomes more fully embodied. We open to it more. That we start seeing the distinction, the difference between the joy and the happiness. Until this point, we talk about joy and happiness, but maybe we don't really see, they're just kind of mingled together, and there's no real difference between them. But as everything gets quieter and calmer, and the thinking mind becomes even quieter and softer, and the excitement of that very subtle but excitement of entering into these states begins to abate. We can start seeing the difference between the joy and the happiness. And one of the common ways to see it is that the joy is a little bit more mental, whereas the happiness is a little bit more physical. Now, the physical sensations of the joy can be quite strong. Some people kind of are a little bit confused to hear that it's more of the mind than it is of the body. But there's a kind of a mental excitement. You start feeling there's a mental thrill, a mental kind of uplift, energy, excitement. This is good. Oh, yes. Not that we say those words to ourselves, but there's a little bit kind of energy like that. And that energy is at a higher level of activity, of excitement, than the happiness. And the happiness is almost like a very deep contentment in the body. It's a very deep sense of well-being, that the mental excitement or the mental activation of joy is no longer there. And now, and with the mental activation of joy, the sensations in the body tend to be a little bit more stronger, more active, and sometimes quite active, quite strong, like big waves of bliss that kind of wash over us. Sometimes it feels like a lot of movement. But with the happiness, the movement, and it feels like a gentle hum or a vibration or warmth, or it might still feel like there's a flow, but the flow feels very harmonious within us. And there isn't any of the subtle, maybe not so subtle, excitement of the joy. And so as the second jhana matures, there's being able to distinguish these two becomes very useful in terms of moving further into the third jhana, which I'll discuss with next week. And so learning to feel the distinction or the difference between joy and happiness becomes part of the task as we go deeper into this meditation, into the jhanas. But either way, don't be in a hurry. It's best with jhanas, never in a hurry. Take all the time in the world to become familiar, to feel it, to look around, to spread whatever goodness there is, to enter into, to abide. This idea of abiding means we're not in a hurry, and opening so that and the quote from the classic traditional teachings, so that the practitioner fills, pervades, saturates, and permeates this body with the joy and happiness born of concentration, so no part of the body is not touched. And this expression, this body, is not referring to kind of the ordinary physical body we might think about, but rather the body that we experience in meditation itself. In a kind of way, the experience we have of our body is very much conditioned by our mind, except when the physical pain in the body is quite intense. The Buddha acknowledged that that was not mind-made. But so many of the sensations in our body have a very strong conditioning, very strongly conditioned by the quality, the characteristics of our mind. Our posture shifts and changes with the moods of our minds, the preoccupations, the negativity bias we have sometimes brings us into parts of our body where we're reacting to them or pushing them away or have aversion. Certain emotions and attitudes cause a lot of tension in the body. And so as we meditate and the mind becomes softer, the mind becomes more relaxed, no longer preoccupied, no longer caught in things, then the body responds accordingly. And you start feeling a very different feeling in the body. And it's almost like we have two different bodies. We have the body in ordinary life, and we have the body, the Samadhi body, that kind of glows and is luminous and light and open and has a very different sensation. And so to enter into this kind of different body, even when just the feelings of it are just beginning to happen, and enter into it, help it support you to be willing to put to rest the ordinary thinking mind. Enter into the state, the feelings, the sensations. Enter, abide, rest in it, resting in it so it can kind of spread, so it can you can appreciate it, you can be nourished by it, you can let it register in a deep way, let it recondition you in a nice way, and then open to the goodness of it, open to the joy and the happiness of it. And then next week, when we start the third jhana, we'll talk about this distinction between the joy and the happiness becomes particularly important because the joy will fade away and we'll be able to enter and abide in the happiness of meditation of the jhanas. So, so in the meantime, you might want to, over this weekend, keep these three steps in mind, maybe throughout the day as much as you can. Maybe have a sticky note that you put on something that reminds you. Enter, abide, and open. And just see if you can do that in ordinary life, everyday life. Maybe when you drive someplace and you arrive, don't get out of your car right away. Sit there a little bit and relax. Enter, abide, and open. If you're standing in a line in a supermarket, don't read the headlines on the news that's there. Rather, stand there, maybe with your eyes closed, but looking down. Enter, abide, and open with what's happening here for you, and maybe being attuned to what is good and right now that you won't be attuned to if you're just in your thoughts thinking a lot. Enter and abide and open through the weekend, and then we'll go further on Monday. So thank you very much, and I'll still be here at Spirit Rock Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and you'll get to see these wonderful hillsides here. To see a little bit my view out of I'm sitting outside my little room, and this is these hillsides, and behind that forest there, further up, there are the two Spirit Rock meditation halls. So there's actually 96 people in the retreat. There's probably like 100 10 people living here. You would know that from all the grasslands. So, thank you.